It's Vladislav Artemiev versus Magnus Carlsen at the FIDE World Rapid Championships 2025. Artemiev has been in great form in this tournament. He's already beaten Arjun Erikaisi in the previous round, while Magnus Carlsen has shown great skills to be on 5 out of 6 here. This is the 7th round of the tournament. The player shakes hands, and this, dear friend, is the ChessBase 26 recap of the day. Artemiev with the white pieces thinks for a bit for his first move and opens with pawn to d4. He's supposed to be very solid in his approach to chess. d5 by Magnus, and one remembers his win over Magnus at the World Rapid Championships 2022. c4 e6, Queen's Gambit declined, knight comes out to f3, and knight f6, knight to c3 played. And what is Magnus's approach going to be? He goes for the semi-Slav with pawn to c6, and Artemiev goes pawn to e3. Knight goes to d7, very well known system here. And queen to c2, waiting for the development of the bishop to d3. He's not rushing it. Magnus goes pawn to b6. He wants to bring his bishop out to b7. And takes off his jacket, sits down. And now Artemiev thinks and takes the pawn on d5. Magnus takes the pawn back. He takes d5. It does feel a bit weird that the pawns are a bit loose on c6, but bishop will come here and eventually black will get the move c5 in. Artemiev plays bishop to d3. And now the bishop comes to e7. White castles. Black castles as well. No, maybe bishop b7 first. And now if black gets two moves, he would be very happy. But before that itself, white strikes in the center with e4 takes and black castles now. The knight goes to e5, but look at Artemiev's time. He has 4 minutes on the clock. Magnus has 14. Magnus takes on e5. And Artemiev contemplating whether he should take here. No, he takes back on e5. And now take the knight on e4. He takes it, bishop takes, and pawn to h6. White is slightly better because of this formation. If he gets queen c7 and c5, black should be okay. e6 played as a pawn sacrifice. And now the best move is to simply take it. And I understand that here there are chances of it ending in a draw with queen g6 and queen h6. But look at what Magnus does. He doesn't take. He plays queen c7, which is a blunder. Takes on f7. And look at Magnus there shaking his head. He's missed something big time. Because if rook f7, he has missed bishop d5. And look at that. The queen is pinned here. Instead, if you go king h8, then bishop takes h6, gh6, and queen c3 is game over. So that's the reason why rook takes f7 is played. And now bishop d5 played, and you're losing an exchange. It's a completely lost position. Magnus gets his rook to f8. It's very rare that Magnus makes blunders like these. And boom, Artemiev doesn't even pick up the rook. He takes on h6, gh6, there's queen g6 check with the rook hanging here. So bishop comes to d6, takes, rook takes. And now just bishop to g5. He goes in, queen to g6. Very powerful move. Well, you can't play rook f6 just yet because of check. So bishop h2, king h1 played. And now if the rooks come into the center of the board, it would be game over for black. Black plays his bishop to e5. And Magnus brings his bishop here. Artemiev brings his rook to e1. Maybe even stronger was rook fe1 and rook ad1, but okay. c5, opening up the bishop here. f4, a strong move. So if you take, there is rook entering in. So he goes back, bishop d6. Check on e8, bishop f8, and Artemiev has just 30 seconds on the clock. He plays rook fd1, but now black has rook f6, a very strong move. Maybe getting a chance to come back in the game. Will Magnus find it? It's his only chance. Otherwise, he's losing. The rook is coming in. And Magnus finds it. And rook e8. What a move. If rook takes, then rook f8. And it's a checkmate here. So that's the reason why he takes on g2 but misses the move there. There was a strong move that he had, but he missed it. Rook takes at 6, king g1, and now rook f6. He defends the bishop, but queen d5 check is game over because f8 is hanging now, and Magnus, even before Artemiev could make a move, resigns, and Artemiev says sorry. Well, Magnus Carlsen has lost. Artemiev scores a huge win there, puts back all the pieces, just to show you that Magnus could have given a much better resistance if in this position, instead of taking on g2, he would have found the move bishop c6. And I believe that after take, queen e6 check, queen f7, it could have been anyone's game here. I mean, Artemiev is better, but Magnus can fight in this queen endgame. Artemiev calmly puts back the pieces, and what a game he has played here. Should be proud of himself. Takes 1 point lead in the tournament, and he is playing great chess.